Okay, our first special session will be delivered by Mr. Vikrant Shukla from Adobe. Mr. Vikrant is currently working as a cloud solution architect, CSA, in Adobe.
He has been working with Magento platforms in its beta version back in 2007, building stores for clients at Magento SI partners. He has also called Super Man in Magento community. Today, he will cover on how Adobe Commerce will help merchants and partners deliver successful composable commerce.
Yes, without further ado, please welcome Mr. Vikrant Shukla.
Hello, hi everyone. Some energy, guys. Hello, Indonesia. Hey guys, how are you doing? Good. Yeah, good. I think that's good enough to start the presentation. So yeah, thank you for the warm welcome and thank you for staying so late and attending this session. So my name is Vikrant and I have to use the ticker, sorry. So my name is Vikrant Shukla. I work as a cloud solution architect for JPAC region. I have been working with Adobe since almost 3+ years now, doing a lot of Magento implementation since in beta version. And the community names me as Super Mage Man. Super Mage Magento Man, yeah, okay. Shameless self-promotion, sorry. So today I will be talking about composable commerce, right? How Magento, or let's say how Adobe Commerce is already doing composable commerce. What Adobe hybrid commerce capabilities are, business consideration when you should be considering this approach. What are the technical architecture? I'll not go very deep. I'll just give you some examples and even a business use case. And what is the key takeaway? So this is a new word, right? We have been hearing around composable commerce or the composable story since almost like a year or so. There have been new platforms which has come into the market and they are publishing themselves as Composable. You must have also heard about Mac Alliance. I'll be touching back on that. So what actually is composable commerce? So composable commerce by definition means that you are selecting best of breed commerce components or modules and then combining them to make your solution. So basically what you are doing is you are taking the cart API from somewhere, you are taking the category API from somewhere, you are taking the checkout API, customer APIs from somewhere and then blending it all in the front end to make a e-commerce store. That's basically what high-level Composable does. Now, to the folks who have been doing Magento since ages, doesn't it sound like something you have been doing since the days of M1? You have all those inside a single platform and you can always leverage the old days REST APIs and the new days GraphQLs to connect the feature that you want. You can connect with the ERPs and the third-party platforms using that. So this is an interactive hype cycle. I remember 2020 we were talking about the headless architecture. This is from the Gartner's, and it is kind of 2020 as in created. Now in this hype cycle we are in the phase of API-based digital commerce. So you might be hearing this a lot, that does your commerce solution provide the composable APIs? Can I just use the cart API on the front end that I want to create? Or can I just bring the ERP APIs and integrate the inventory checks and so on and so forth on the front end? So this hype cycle says where we are currently. We are on the API-based digital commerce kind of a world. Now, what is the basic, or let's say the biggest hurdle that we see in delivering a customer experience, right? The biggest as done by the research in the ANZ region with our real customers, says that they face the poor integration systems, right? The integration between different systems being poor have created a lot of problem for them. And then there are workflows, there are lack of digital skills and capabilities, and so on and so forth. Now, I'll come to the point of modular composable commerce and what are the advantages of it. You might already be seeing this in a lot of commerce discussions if you are doing with end customers and with different partners or different service providers, that the Composable brings continuous development. You can do continuous development on a single piece of code. And let's say if you imagining a world of Composable API, wherein your cart is coming from an API section, whereas your inventory is coming from the other section. So if you want to do development on cart, you don't need to be dependent on the API development that is being done on the inventory side of the world. Then releasing new feature, that is the another thing that we constantly say that, hey, if I am Composable, my X API would not be dependent on Y API, and using the web services or Y API, I can scale up the Y API based on demand or based on surge on my platform. For example, if you are doing Composable and you are bringing carts, let's say inventory from your ERP system, and let's say there is some 11.11.99 kind of a sales going on, you can scale your web layer differently than the database layer, and that kind of Composable functionality can be achieved. There is this thing that is being said about the advantage of Composable commerce is low cost of ownership. But in the slides to follow, I'll show you that ultimately you will end up at the higher cost of ownership. The reason being multiple APIs that you are going to be managing. So I'm sure you must have heard this term, MAC, right? MAC Alliance, and you might be seeing a lot of new e-commerce providers coming in and saying that, hey, we are MAC aligned and we are headless, microservices, API first, cloud native, and headless. So we are microservices based architecture, we are API first, so we are not monolithic, right? Which obviously Magento 1 used to be, and we have come a long way with Adobe Commerce, wherein we are no more a monolithic solution, and we are gradually going ahead to become a web services and API first application, following the trends. But again, the question, have we not been doing this with Adobe or let's say Magento Commerce since ages? APIs were always there in the form of REST APIs. Now we have got GraphQLs. Microservices, yes, we were lacking on that, but now with the microservices like Adobe Sensei coming into play, we have created microservices for live search. We have created recently a microservices for payments, and there is another microservices in play which would be for the cart. If you might have been seeing the roadmap of Adobe Commerce 2.4.5, which is going to be released, I think, 8th or 9th. It also have got enhanced functionality for the indexing problems, which everyone old in this room who understands Magento would relate that indexing was one of the biggest problem that we had. And now that is also being asynchronous and microservices based. Cloud native and headless. So headless is, again, it has been since almost like, 4 or 5 years now in the market. And we have got PWA Studio, AEM, and there are other platforms like Vue.js and others in the open era, which you can always use as a headless integration. So chances are you are actually already using composable architecture. So this is an example while you read on the slide. Let's assume you have integration with ERP, WMS, CMS, and you have got 2 payment gateways, right? One is coming from the other provider, the second one is from the other provider. So you might already be using APIs and headless approach, right, to integrate this. You might already be connecting with different platforms to go ahead and have your composable architecture in your customer's project or in the project that you are working on currently. So I'll move to the hybrid commerce compatibility capability of Adobe Commerce. So this is the roadmap for the people who remember Magento or don't know the Magento. So Magento was officially launched in 2008, and then until 2016 we had Magento 1, which was the original version of Magento. In 2016 we launched Magento 2.0 until 2018. 2018 it was acquired by Adobe, and then you can see the REST APIs, the cloud area came in the year 2016 to 2018. Then we had GraphQLs, which are very mature now. 2020, we had this headless era wherein we invested a lot in the PWA studio and capability. And fast forward 2020-21, we have decoupled and created a hybrid architecture wherein you can have different services go ahead and being plugged on the front end and be used or optimized based on your needs and requirements, right? So this is the high-level composable needs-based architecture, what all is supported by Adobe Commerce. So the front layer or the customer interaction layer, it could be any of the interaction point, web, social, CMS, in-store, retail, voice, anything, conversational commerce or anything, right? So now we have exposed open GraphQL APIs for all the core Adobe Commerce functionalities, and you can easily use those open GraphQL APIs to go ahead and decouple your headless, decouple your front end to create an headless story for yourself. Backing it, we have got GraphQL front-end APIs. Then we have got the core commerce services, right? This core commerce services include all the features that you can get on our commerce platform, backed by the commerce capability of Adobe Commerce, 15 years in the making, right? We have fine-tuned all the processes. The system is very robust, and it is ICUBed enough to encapsulate any of your core commerce services need. We also have got REST APIs, which can be called asynchronously, both for the payment and now coming in a few days for the indexing and the catalog services, which will make your catalog services much more faster compared to what you have currently. In the back office, you can always connect to any kind of ERP, any kind of CRM. Currently, using extensions, we have got a very robust community, very enthusiastic, something like you all across the globe, who are constantly developing on top of Magento or Adobe Commerce to give the feature and functionality that each business needs. So you can always leverage that, or you can use the backend API support to integrate with any of the system that you want. Now, modular core for easy extensibility, right? So we have been talking about this, that how are we going to integrate with Adobe Commerce, or what are the different components that, that you see. So if you see the third-party modules, right? The commerce features, the integration, payment gateway, and shipping gateway. The core B2B is something that is offered by the Adobe Commerce itself. And the core modules, these are the part of the Adobe Commerce modules. And you can pick and choose what module you want to use, right? For example, the staging preview. Or for example, let's say you don't want to use search. So let's assume a case that somehow you don't like the Adobe Sensei powered search that is given with Adobe Commerce. You want to integrate with something like CalView or something like Unbox or some another third-party solution to have more robust search engine. Bingo, you can do that. You can just bring in API and you can decouple the API that is provided or the service that is provided by Adobe Commerce to implement a new feature by third-party system. So there is no restriction, there is no boundary, and in this way, we are making the extensibility easy for you. These are some of the successful customers who are doing this, and you can see the numbers, you can see the value, right? And you can see what kind of approach they are doing. So Alshaya, they are one of the biggest retail group globally, and they are using whih as the front end, and they have got the increase in numbers and everything. You were able to see this, right? So they are launching brands like in weeks. They have got multiple brands, and they are able to launch brands website in weeks, right? That's unthoughtable, right? Unimaginable. And then you have got something like TiVo, which is on AEM powered front end, and it has got it actually is using the CIF connector. Maybe if you don't know, it is the Commerce Integration Framework connector or the integration channel using which you can integrate AEM and Adobe Commerce flawlessly. So all the API calls and anything can be utilized inside the AEM. Now, this is a very important section. The reason why I say so is that we as developers, I still call myself as a developer, though I have left coding almost 2 years back. And our customers are often triggered by the buzzwords. But let's say for a business which is just starting to roll out into e-commerce world, do they really need to go into a composable world? Or do they really need to have AEM as a front end, or let's say PW as a front end, and Adobe Commerce, or let's say any other third-party system? What is the business consideration to ensure that your customer is successful in choosing the right platform, right methodology? How do you decide that? So this is something that we have come up with, wherein we say that you can have a modular architecture or you can have a composable architecture. So when you are going for the composable architecture, you would need a strong internal development team with good tenure. The reason is you are going to maintain different APIs at the same given moment of time. So it's like building a Lego car using Legos from different brands and of different shapes. So just imagine if you would need, to build a Lego car using one box of Lego, all of their hooks would be of same size. And it would be a bit easier compared to building a Lego car of different brands, wherein the one could have a circular hook or the other could have a round, or let's say the square hook, right? So you need a very strong team to ensure that you are able to fix all of those things. Rock solid CI/CD processes and documentations. The reason is it's not easy. You need to document all the APIs. You need to make sure that you are actually following the right CI/CD pipeline and everything in case if you are going to do it yourself. And all the other things, and the important is to budget viability, right? Because you need to be sure that you are maintaining, let's say, 10 different APIs from 10 different vendors. It is certainly very enthusiastic that you can replace one vendor if you don't want and bring in the other API, but there are other challenges associated with it when it comes to the composable implementation of a commerce story. So this is the slide I was talking about. Gartner and IDC says that there is 30% lower TCO from a single platform versus point products. So in case like you are choosing 10 different vendors to provide you 10 different APIs, to combine them all into one beautiful e-commerce, that's 30% more expensive. And that's being said by Gartner. And that is where Adobe Commerce comes into play. So Adobe Commerce offers you a single integrated platform which increases your communication efficiency and outcome, reducing the risk and total cost of ownership. And being integrated closely with Adobe suite of products, AEM, Analytics, Campaign, Target, CJP, AEP, right? Being part of it, it makes your life easier. So in a way, Composable was always part of Magento or Adobe Commerce, but now it has become a completely integrated solution which can help you deliver your product or let's say the project much faster. So the key consideration with Adobe ecosystem, or let's say the Adobe Experience Platform, is that you have got artificial intelligence-based analysis, data governance is there, ecosystem, Magento ecosystem is there to support all the Adobe Commerce implementation. You're not running after something which is not in the market, and you one day you find it difficult to have developer look after it. And a lot of other things like business digital maturity and so on and so forth. So what Adobe recommends is a phased approach. We want our customers, our partners to ensure that they understand their current state of business. Let's say it is about your maturity graph in your ecosystem. So if you are kind of starting to develop, you need to be crawl, walk, run, and then land on the moon, right? Maybe sometime it becomes problematic with the buzzwords is that you are always attracted towards it. And anything new or anything shiny is always something that attracts human. But it is always important to understand your current state and choose your path accordingly. So technical architecture, this is a very high level architecture, just giving you a view about how Adobe Commerce or Adobe ecosystem gives you all these composable components, ensuring that you are able to have the complete composable story for yourself. So you can see the self-hosted can be the front end, could be custom front end, could be custom mobile app. You can have custom experience manager, which is the front end, right? GraphQL supporting all your front end serve queries and all, and you can choose to integrate what you want. So GraphQL is a single touch point, much faster, much easier to use, and much reliable, easily cacheable, right? And then gives you a better response time. Now you can have the third-party services, which can be, again, coming from the custom microservices. For example, the pricing services coming out from your ERP to the front end, or let's say the order management or the payment services, which integrates with your front end ecosystem. Then you have got Adobe Sensei-powered web services, which is AI ML-based web services, feeding in both live search and product recommendations. And these are really good. You should actually experiment around it. They are really good. And then you have the core e-commerce components. You can take the GraphQL approach to, let's say, for example, I just want, I want my pricing to come from my ERP. So I don't want to use the price that is being offered inside the Adobe Commerce. I want to bypass it. I want to add the product, and then I want to check out, right? And then the REST APIs to integrate with all the third-party system. So example of composable microservices. So basically, we need to understand what all goes into it. And this is a high-level numbers that we actually went ahead and took from some of our partners. So if they wanted to create, let's say, a composable web services with custom price microservice. So this is the high-level development man-hours. So it is about finding the profitability for the business while you are caching the shiny word of the composable world. Wherein you, not being monolithic, Adobe Commerce is not monolithic, but you get all the things into one package itself, and you can still have a composable story around it. So key takeaway of this presentation, which I wanted to take you away from for today, is composable will take time. Hybrid happens fast. So if your customer or your partner is agreed upon, and if your business case needs it, composable is a good way to go ahead, but you need to understand your state in the business. Hybrid can be done much faster. Go to market, you can experiment your product, you can see the success and failures, learn from it, and redo the development if required. So benefit of hybrid is flexible, extensible, faster market, go-to-market, and lesser TOC. And you can design your architecture the way you want. Great, I think that's the last slide. So that's all from my side for the composable story of Adobe Commerce and the current state of market in it. Thank you.